Today, in this episode, we're going to be talking about Metatron and his library. So the first time that I was perceiving Metatron, he showed me this library. And the library itself was him. It was as if his entire vibration creates this space, this welcoming space full of knowledge and wisdom. And this library is something that we should all be accessing and using and meditating within in order to come to a place of wholeness. So just to back up, Metatron, how I perceive him is that he is the professor of the angels and the angelic realm itself. It's almost like he is the middle point between the astral realm and the matrix of manifesting into a three-dimensional physical form. It's almost as if he is the matrix, he is the angelic realm, he is what we see around us. The illusion itself is all part of Metatron. The astral realm is this meeting place where we reflect with our guides, with our higher self, with our ancestors, whatever you want to call it, where we create these ideas for these new experiences that we want to have, how we want to learn them, what we want to do different next time. And within that astral realm, within that lab where we're coming up with these ideas of how we want to express our Christ consciousness into the world, we have Metatron's library. And in that library is where we sit and absorb this wisdom, where we think and reflect on these past lifetimes, where we understand our choices, we understand the codes that we are going to program ourselves with so that we make certain decisions and have certain experiences. And that's not all to say that there's only one hand in that. It's a collective consciousness. And this is all part of how we co-create with the creator as the creator. This is how we express our highest selves, our God consciousness, is through these life experiences that we get to play with and dream up. But this library isn't full of books. There's nothing mental about his library. His library is all through a silent reflection, through a complete embodiment of self. So when you sit in this library, it's completely electric. It's almost as if Metatron, as the library, is the nervous system of the body, just communicating silently. There's nothing to even think about or process because it's all being processed for you. Imagine that you have all these lives that you have lived, or if you want to take time out of it, are currently living. And there's so much to process about them. There's no feeling of like someone saying, well, in this past life, you were a terrible person. You cannot come here. This library is a place where you get to go and understand why you were that terrible person, what you learned from being a terrible person, what you learned from being an amazing person who made no mistakes, and was that beneficial to your evolution? So this space is very much, you sit and it's almost like electricity and light are coming into your awareness, silently giving you an understanding of everything that you've been through and will ever be going through. It's more of an embodiment of acceptance that these are choices that you are making, you have made, and regardless of that, you are still held and loved. When you're going through tough transitions, or when you're having a hard time forgiving people or yourself, when you need to feel understood or you want to understand something from a higher perspective, this space that you can imagine and visualize yourself being within is that place to sit in silence. And it always brings you closer to your God consciousness, to the creator's heart, to understanding why the creator does what it does. When we choose to embody a physical form and we're in our own mother's womb, relating that to the transition that we all experience when we come from our spiritual realm into the physical realm. Metatron guides us through all of that. He very much is the one saying, these codes, these choices that you'll make, understand, try and remember that you are consciously making them, and you're making them for a reason. That everything that you will do and will happen to you will all be for a reason, a higher reason. So I'll give you another metaphor for this library. If you could imagine the roots of a tree, they are stretching underneath the soil and reaching and connecting and communicating with all of the other tree roots around them, and then beyond, 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 beyond across the planet. This communication and connection with every tree on the planet and plants on the planet is Metatron's library. It is an all-knowing, a cosmic knowing of everything that is happening all at once. Imagine how silent it is underneath the soil, despite all of this communication happening. You can rest there, you can feel whole there, you can feel held there, while also feeling the bliss of being accepted for every kind of experience that you will ever have, every mistake that you will ever have. There is no judgment. If there ever comes a time where you feel stuck in a cycle of negative thinking and you're trying to understand why this is happening, why would God give me such a, difficult thing to overcome, I encourage you to access this library, make use of its healing within this awareness, because the library is really a state of awareness. So it doesn't leave you. So as you're going through these transitions, as you're going through these hard times, if you're about to have a baby and you want that baby to have a peaceful transition into being a human form, or even if right now you feel as though you're having a difficult time being a human form, using Metatron's vibration is such a good place to start on your healing journey and your journey into just understanding why is there war? Why are we here? Why am I, having so much trouble with this or that? And you may not feel like you're getting an answer right there, but there is a piece that is left within you that then you move through the world with. When you start to understand the cosmic wisdom that you can be aware of while you're there and bring it into your everyday life, you start to see that everything is God's hand. Everything is happening because we are co-creating it. We are part of it happening, and we are part of the choice of it happening. And so in part 2, I will go over the roles that Metatron gave so that you could start to understand why you are choosing the things that you are choosing in your life and how they help you evolve. So stay tuned for part 2 and stay tuned for the library meditation. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in part 2.